Heritage Village at Home for Kids. I'm your host, Hannah Friesen, and I'm in the Lichtenau Church, which is one of the first churches built by the Mennonites who arrived here in Manitoba in the 1920s. Today on the show, we have part 2 of the story of Annie Funk, and her journey back home from India and how she made it on the Titanic. And yes, it may be a sad story, but it is a beautiful representation of how Mennonites throughout the years have put other people before themselves. And later on, I'll be showing you a fun craft and how to make cloud emojis.
Hi everyone, it's Nita from the museum, and I'm here today to read part 2 of the story Annie Funk, Lived to Serve, Dared to Sacrifice. What happened last week was Annie was born to a young Mennonite couple in the United States, and she decided very early on that she wanted to be a teacher and she wanted to be a missionary. And so she worked with people in the United States for quite a while, but finally she got sent to India by her missionary board. And when we last saw Annie, she was busy teaching young girls in India who had never had the chance to go to school. She built a school and said, "The girls can come to school, I will teach them." The girls loved Miss Annie. And that's where we left off last week. Let's see what happens. Annie had lived in India for about 5 years when some dreadful news arrived. A telegram arrived at Annie's house in India. She opened the telegram with trembling fingers. It read, "Mother very ill. Have purchased tickets on 2 ships. Pater Shelley." So her father had sent her money to come home because her mother was sick. Annie longed to see her mother who was ill. Annie quickly made plans to travel back to her home in America, and she packed her bags and she boarded a train. The train traveled to Bombay, India. Bombay was a large coastal city. At the harbor, Annie boarded the Persian. This ship sailed to Marseille, France. Annie was getting closer to home. Her next stop was Liverpool, England. And there she was scheduled to go on aboard a ship called the Haverford. The Haverford would sail across the Atlantic Ocean back home to America. Annie talked with the man at the ticket counter. "I need to sail on the Haverford," she said. "Oh, I'm sorry," replied the man. "The Haverford is not sailing. The ship company is on strike." Annie was dismayed. "How will I get home to America?" she wondered. Annie was extremely weary from her long journey from India. Discouraged, she wondered what she would do next. Then the man spoke. "You could travel on the Titanic. It's faster than the Haverford. However, you will need to pay more money to buy a ticket to sail on the Atlantic." Annie stood silently pondering what to do. "My mother is very ill. I need to get home quickly. The Titanic is faster than the Haverford. Yes, I will pay more money," Annie decided, and she bought a second-class ticket. Her ticket number was 237671. She traveled to Southampton, England, where Annie boarded the brand new Titanic with approximately 2,200 passengers and crew. The Titanic pulled out of harbor on April 10th, 1912. It began its maiden voyage across the Atlantic Ocean. The Titanic was the largest and fastest ship built in those days. The captain boasted that the ship was unsinkable. He bragged that it would break all sailing speed records. Annie was glad to travel on such a fast ship. "I will be home soon," she exclaimed. In the meantime, Annie relaxed and began enjoying her voyage. "I will celebrate my 38th birthday in 2 days on this luxurious ship," she murmured happily to herself. 4 nights later, Annie was sleeping. The stars were twinkling brightly overhead. Suddenly, there was a grinding jolt. The Titanic had struck an iceberg. The captain had been warned about the icebergs earlier, but he was not worried that anything would happen. Now the lower compartments of the ship began filling with water. The unsinkable Titanic might sink indeed. Shortly after midnight, Annie was rudely awakened. She heard a voice shouting. Someone pounded on her cabin door. She opened the door a crack. "Hurry to the deck! The Titanic is sinking!" yelled the steward. Moving quickly, Annie dressed warmly. She heard more shouting and scurrying of feet. Annie swung open the cabin door, and she hurried through the maze of corridors to reach the deck of the ship. As Annie reached the deck, she took a gulp of the frigid night air. "Is the Titanic really sinking?" she wondered. Bewildered, Annie paused a moment, wondering what to do. The deck was crowded with people. Some were pushing close to the railing. Annie darted toward them. "Lady, jump into the lifeboat. There's room for one more person," a sailor yelled frantically. Annie peered warily into the watery darkness. The lifeboat was already loaded with people. "Hurry, lady," the sailor insisted. Annie started carefully climbing over the ship's edge down toward the lifeboat. Just then, a frightened mother started climbing over the side of the ship. The crewman pulled her back. "My children! My children!" The mother was screaming. The lifeboat was too full for the distressed mother. Annie heard the children crying on the loaded lifeboat. They were frantically reaching for their mother. Quickly, Annie pulled herself back up onto the deck. "Hurry, go to your children," Annie urged the wailing mother. The grateful mother hurriedly obeyed and dropped into the lifeboat. The lifeboat pushed off, and Annie remained behind on the ship. Annie looked around the deck. Was there another lifeboat? No, there was no other lifeboat for Annie. She shivered in the freezing night. What would happen to her? The Titanic was sinking fast in the frigid waters. Her hands and her knees trembled. Then Annie remembered that she was not alone. She knew that her Heavenly Father was with her on that sinking Titanic. He had promised never to leave her or forsake her, and she was comforted, and she closed her eyes to pray. The Titanic, with its bright lights, began tilting into the water. Suddenly, a very loud crack startled Annie and the other people left on board. Then the ship broke in two. The people on the lifeboats stared in horror. The ship's stern stood vertical for a moment, pointing towards the blinking stars. Then the ship slid out of sight. It disappeared into the cold, dark water. Morning dawned. The Titanic could not be seen anywhere. However, all was well for Annie. Her heavenly Father had been near to her on land. He had also been near to her on the sea. Annie was finally home with him. People in Bali, Pennsylvania, did not forget Annie Funk. They remembered her kindness and her hard work. They remembered how she loved God and people. They remembered her sacrificial love for a mother and her children. A memorial was erected in honor of Annie. And if you ever go to the Hereford Mennonite Church Cemetery in Bali, Pennsylvania, you can see the monument. And there's a picture of Annie C. Funk, missionary to India, 1906 to 1912. She was the daughter of James B. and Susan Funk. She was born in 1874, and she died on the Titanic, April 15th, 1912. Her life was one of service in the spirit of Jesus, who said, "It's not to be ministered unto, but to minister to others." What an amazing story about a brave young Mennonite woman. Thanks for listening. Take care and join us next week. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, welcome to the craft. Today we'll be making cloud emojis. What you're gonna need is some colorful paper, any colors that you would like, a white sheet of paper, some popsicle sticks that you could color. That's optional. You could either use popsicle sticks or colored paper. Some markers, some glue or tape, scissors, and whatever you'd like to decorate your cloud with. So the first step that we're gonna do is we're gonna take our white paper and we're gonna draw the outline of a cloud. Just like that. And then we're gonna cut it out. And once you're done cutting it out, it'll look something like this. And then you're gonna wanna take your colorful paper and cut out long strips out of each paper. To about that length. And you're gonna wanna do it on each piece of paper. And if you're not using paper and you're using popsicle sticks, just take a couple popsicle sticks and color them whichever color you would like. So then you're gonna take once you've cut out all of your strips of paper, you're gonna take them and take your glue or your tape and tape them to the cloud. Looks something like this, and it looks like it's raining rainbow. And then you're going to want to take your markers and draw a face on it. It can be a happy face, a sad face, a funny face, whatever face you would like, however you're feeling that day. So it looks something along this lines. And then you can take your pom-poms and use them as cheeks and make it look like you're. And then you're going to want to take your pom-poms and glue them so it looks like there's two little cheeks. Just like that. And there you have it. There's your cloud emoji.
Here's another story about a flower from our lovely book, Grandma's Garden by Marilyn Dewick. Enjoy. This is the sweet pea. Margarita, bring me your dolly, Mama called from her chair by the window. The sun was streaming in, sparkling on her stitching basket. Why do you want my dolly? You fixed her torn dress last week. I need to do some more stitching. Margarita reluctantly handed her dolly to her mum, wondering what was so necessary. Now, go finish up your work in the kitchen. Mama picked up a packet of seeds and carefully placed them deep inside the doll's stuffing so that they wouldn't be felt by her daughter or anyone else who might handle the doll on their trip to a new life in a strange land. Mama sighed as she thought of the many unknowns ahead. Russian officials had ordered that Mennonites not take seeds of the winter wheat that they had developed in Russia when they left for North America. However, some did stitch seeds, perhaps including some flower seeds, into their mattresses, pillows, and rag dolls to help them begin again in the new land.
I hope you all enjoyed the story and the craft. I sure did. Make sure you send us your pictures of the craft with the hashtag MHV@home and @MHVillage. And congratulations, Ava. I heard it was your birthday when you won the gift, and I just wanted to say happy birthday, and I hope you had a wonderful day. Make sure you hit that like button, share it with all of your friends, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any videos from us. And if you'd like, hit the little bell to be notified every single time we upload. See you next week.